Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Well, here we are, finally moving on to the cover. So what I have done is taken it outside and given it a quick sand down. Just because it's very shiny, I sanded these covers and I also sanded the tape. The tape is quite shiny and things don't tend to stick to it very readily without a bit of sanding. So I just sanded it very lightly. You don't want to do any damage to either the cover or the tape. So now that it's sanded, I have decided I am going to cover it with something. So we are going to put down my silicone mat so we don't just stick it to my table. I have here some torn cardboard, damp torn cardboard. There's a story behind that too. I will show you how I did that or where I got that from. I received a Happy Mail, which I was very thrilled to get, and it actually had two pieces of card like this with it that were just protecting it from being bent. So I decided, well, in the spirit of using everything that I receive, because I'm very grateful to receive it, I would peel this cardboard off and use some in some projects coming forward. So here is the piece that I have already peeled off. Now the easiest way to do this is to wet it. If you wet it and give it a few moments to sort of soak in, the top layer peels off much more easily. So I have just sprayed this down with water and we're going to let it set for a few minutes and then we'll come back. In the meantime, let's prep some glue. So this is what I use. This is PVA glue. I will show you the label after I have finished mixing it. I mix it in this little jar. People often ask me what my ratio is. I say it's 50-50. What it is I pour it into the jar until I feel like it's about half full, and then I top it up with water till it's full. So yeah, it's not an exact science, but it's around the 50-50 mark. So yeah. I just purchased my PVA from the local hardware store. I get it in these big bottles because I use a lot of it. This is the brand, but any PVA glue will probably do. So I will grab my spray bottle and take the lid off and pour the water into here, and then we'll give it a bit of a shake and a bit of a stir, and then that will be ready to move on and do our next step with. But in the meantime, let's get back to this piece of cardboard. At this point, this wasn't quite ready to peel, so I peeled this piece off and then just rub the moisture over the remaining card and just leave it for a little bit longer. I guess around 5 minutes would be enough, but it's just a case of trying, and if it doesn't work, then give it a moment longer. You can see here when I do tear it, I tear it gently, and I also do it at an angle. I don't try and tear it either vertically or horizontally. That doesn't seem to work as well as tearing it at an angle across the piece. So it doesn't matter which angle really, but just gently tears it off, and you have a nice piece of peeled cardboard, which is always an interesting look. And I also have all this delicious damp torn cardboard off the top, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we can utilise some of that today as well. And there we have a nice piece of exposed corrugated cardboard, which I'm sure will come in handy, if not today, then down the track. So anyway, moving back to this book cover, let's get something done with this. Now, what I've decided to do is cover it in some napkin, and I just happen to have a couple of yellow napkins here that are fairly inexpensive napkins. They are only 2-ply, so I just peel them in half, and I only need 2 napkins to do the whole book. Here I am just scrunching them up just to give them a bit of texture. I want that sort of leathery look for the front of the book. So yeah, we need some creases. I'm going to lay a coat of the PVA water mix down, and then I'm going to start putting this napkin over the top. Now, as I mentioned, this napkin is very cheap napkin. It is super easy to put your brush straight through it. So I do my very best not to put too many holes in it. I am not always 100% successful with that, but yeah, you do what you can. So yeah, just treat it very, very, very gently when you're putting it on there. In this case, you know, if you're not really keen on taking the time to be particularly gentle with it, you could try doing this with tissue paper instead of the napkin. That would probably have the same sort of effect and stand up a lot better to being brushed over again. So yeah, just something to try if you're not keen on spending time fiddling around with bits of napkin. I would have done that, but the napkin was the first thing I grabbed, and so that's where we're at. I do end up with a few holes over that tape there on the spine. I'm not supremely concerned about it. It is harder to, avoid the holes over that area because that tape is a little bit slippery. So, it tends to let the napkin slide around quite a bit, and you end up tearing. But I will probably cover this spine with a piece of fabric in the end anyway, just to protect it, and because I like the look of it, and that it won't be an issue that some of the covering over the spine is not 100% perfect. Right, so that's the napkin done. Let's move on to using a bit of this damp cardboard. There's no real reason I'm doing this. I just felt like doing it. I thought that it might look interesting. Whether or not it'll really show through at the end of the day, I'm not sure. I've not done it before. But I had this pile of damp cardboard and a book cover, and I thought, well, what's it going to hurt to try? So that's what we're doing. We're going to pop some of this damp cardboard on top of the book cover and stick it down with the PVA and let it dry with everything else, and then we'll continue on the process and see what it looks like at the end and decide whether or not it was worth it. But it's all a bit of fun, and uses up some of the stuff that's on the desk. Okay, that being done, I am going to set this aside to dry and probably leave it overnight so that cardboard soaks up all that PVA and gets thoroughly stuck. In the end of the day, once it's fully dry, I will flip it over and sort of ease all of that over to the other side and stick it down so the cover is completely covered all around the edges as well. So anyway, moving on from this, let's check out this Happy Mail that I got. first up we have this cute little booklet made out of a piece of paper bag, which we all know I'm very partial to the odd piece of paper bag. It has some lovely little words written in it for me, and I really appreciate that. Thanks, Gemma. Here's some microfish. I don't often find these around. I have a couple in my stash, but they're completely different to these ones, so this is an interesting thing. There's I think about 4 or 5 of these, so that's exciting. Something new to play with. It almost looks like medical records. I don't think it is. I think it's just written data, but it almost looks like a recording of a heartbeat or something. But anyway, that aside, that was very interesting. So I will have to play around with those and see what I can work out. We have a couple of maps. Here is a map of Albury Wodonga. So that's pretty cool, an ordnance map. And then there's another one of Western Australia, which is always interesting to me because that's where I live. So we have these little pile of scraps and little stamped ephemera and whatnot, so that's pretty cute. I think we can probably find some spots in this journal that we're working on to use some of these, so look forward to seeing some of those again. We have an interesting piece of plastic here. Looks like it's been embossed with little dots, so heaven knows what I'm going to do with that, but there will be something along the lines. Here is a tag shape made out of a popcorn bag, and this very cute stamped image. I really like the stamp. I'll assume it's a stamp that Gemma has. It's very, very lovely. So this is the map of Western Australia, and I suddenly get excited because it's the southwest of Western Australia, the bit that I was looking at, and that's where I live. So I am going to show you on the map where you can find me. So this is the southwest part of Western Australia, and just down here on this little bit here there is a town called Mandurah, and that's pretty much where I live. So that's me. So just in case you're wondering, that's my little coastal town that I live near, and it's kind of a holiday destination for a lot of people, and I am fortunate enough to live here, so anyway. Then we have this book, and look, it's Japanese. How exciting. It's a book on how to make flowers out of fabric, which is interesting in itself, but there's lots and lots of Japanese text, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I will be spending some time having a look through this before I decide what I'm going to do with it. So it's all very lovely. So thanks so much, Gemma. I'm so pleased to have received this. I'm very, very grateful. And you will see some bits of all of this turn up in this journal as we keep on working our way through. Well, that's it for our video today, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the steps that we're taking towards covering this book cover and making it a bit special. And yeah, here's a little love from Gemma. Thanks for being here today, guys. I appreciate your company as always. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.